Welcome to Module 2 Lesson 3. In this particular lesson, I'll be walking you through the procedures for creating an ID card, a business card, or anything related to that of that particular size. So I'll be using an ID card as an example. So for you to start off, you can start off by just going ahead to search for a particular template to draw your inspiration from. So you can just type in ID card and hit enter. It will give you several templates that you can draw your inspiration from. Remember, we are not really using a template. We are just drawing inspiration from a template. The Canva is giving me 712 templates of an ID card. So you can see several examples of each of them. So you can just draw inspiration from all of this. I love this. This is quite simple. So I can make use of this as an example. So it's either I go over to select this or I just capture how the design looks like. So let's just assume I'll just capture how it looks like this way and go ahead to create a blank ID card. So it's either you go to create a blank ID card from here or go to create a design and type in ID card. What would you like to create? ID card. So ID card, employee badge ID card. So I'll just go with ID card. So it's opening that in a new tab. So you can see that has been fully opened here. And you can see that based on my template tab here on the object panel, you can see several templates that you can always make use of. Unfortunately enough, the particular template is also appearing here. So this is that particular template here. So I can go ahead and just make it. So I'll go ahead, letter R, to create a rectangle and then start making use of it. Or better still, I can decide to start off with my background and create my background and then start working on it. But let me just go ahead with the rectangle here. So with the rectangle, I'll go ahead and scale this down. So I want it to be of blue color. Okay, this is quite too obvious. Okay, so I'm okay with this color. I'll scale it to the side a little bit this way. So I want to bring in a frame. You can still recall frame that they are placeholder for images. So I'll go to this. I would search for frame under my elements tab. Okay, so I want to use a circle frame. So I'll just bring this in. Okay, so I'll place it directly on top of this. So let's say I'll scale this a little bit more. Okay, so I'm okay this way. So I want to bring in an image into this frame. So this time around I'll be uploading. I want to upload an image. So I'll go to uploads. It will show you some of your uploads. I'll go to upload files. Upload files. Then going to upload files, I can now look for whichever file I want to upload. So this is the image I want. So I'll just click on it and then open. So it's going to upload that file here. So this is it here. It has been uploaded. So I can bring this image and come and drag it into this shape. So I will just click on it. So I'll drag it to place it into this frame this way. So I'm okay with this. So I also want to bring in another shape, letter R. This time around it will be a circle. So I'll go and adjust the shape to be that of a circle. I'll also scale it. So I want it to be the exact position with this other one. So I'll scale this further this way. So let's say I'll just make it this way. But I want this shape to be a color of white, to be the same color with the background. Or let's say my background, I'll tweak my background a little bit. So let me also use this to explain the aspect of, so this is the shape. Let me return this shape back to the color it was. The aspect of you making use of eyedropper tool. So with this background selected, I'll change the color of the background to something like gray. I want it to be something like grayish. This is quite too gray. Okay, I'm okay with this way. not to be too white. So for this, I'll select this and then I'll change the color to that same color. So if I go ahead and I just go ahead and put this to be white, it does not really blend well because it's still clear that it's not really, the background is not really white. So what I want to do is that I'll go to my color, I'll click on this eyedropper tool, that is pick a color from design. So with this tool now, I can pick any color in this design, even if it is the color of the face here that I want to pick. I can pick it for this. So I can go over to this, I want to pick the color of the background here. I'll just click on that, it will change it to the color of the background, then I'll come and place it here. Of course, it's blocking the image, so I'll send this to back. Right click, send to back, send backward. So with it send backward, this is what I have. So you can see that it has created a kind of demarcation on this with this. So I can decide to group all of this now, selecting the circle, the outer circle, selecting the frame, holding down shift to select frame if you are using desktop. If you are using your phone, that means you'll be making use of your multi-select tool on your properties panel, properties bar. So after selecting all of this, I'll group Ctrl G. So this has been grouped now. Let's say I'll shift it a little bit to the side this way. So I want to add some other things to it. So I want to add text and other I'll go and use the text tab here and bring in an heading. So for my heading, I want to put a name for this. So let's say name, and for the name I want to change the font. Let's say I want to use let me just search for any font, Black Mango. Okay, Black Mango is here, so I'll use the Black Mango semi bold. So I'll go ahead and use. Then aside from this, so let's say aside this, I want to bring the other this thing to it. So I'll add more text to this. I can just duplicate this either by hitting this to duplicate it, and then this time around I want it to have a different text. So I'll put it as. So for this other text now, I want the font size to reduce. So with this done now, I can go ahead to start adding in several other elements. Okay, let me just put in all of my text into this. So I will be using Montserrat for the subheading. So let's say the role now will be. So this is the role. I'll reduce this font size. So I'll change the font to, let's say, Montserrat. Okay, so Montserrat. So I'll be using Montserrat Classic. So I've chosen that, and I'll be making it to have the color of blue. I'll change the color over here, the same color I've been using for other parts of the design. So for all of this, I'll select it and I want to align it to the left. So I'll go to position and then align everything left this way, so that it will balance to the left of one another. So I'm okay with this. Then I can go ahead, I'll change this alignment to left, change this alignment also to left, and change this alignment as well to left. So I can go ahead and start adding the role, the phone number, the email address, and every other part of this design. So let's say for this, I'll duplicate this. So let's say phone number, then email address, then let's say signature. So for all of this, I want to adjust the space between all of this line. So I'll go to line spacing. I want to increase the line spacing a little bit. So that's the line space. So I'll duplicate this, hold down Alt and then drag if on system. On the other hand, just copy if on mobile phone. So for all of this, I'll go ahead and do that again. Hold down Alt and then drag. So this way, then I'll change the phone number. then the email address, okay, then the signature. So though the email address is longer than the space available here, but we'll sort that out. The signature, I'll just put dash 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 dash. Okay, so what I'll do for all of this is that this text box and this text box, I'll reduce their size from 7 to something around, let's say 6. I think I'm okay with this. So for this, I'll shift it a little bit closer. So this is what I have. Then for both of them, I would also adjust the line spacing a little bit. I would increase it more, so something like this. So this is what I have. So once done, I can go ahead and start adding in other elements to this. So let's say to just add few things. So I'll put you to 1 or 2 key search terms here. There are several search terms in Canva, which of course knowing several search terms would help you to be able to do well as a designer. But before that, I'll change this text to the exact color I used earlier, which is this. So I'll change it to that. Okay, so for this I want to go ahead and use under my elements. I want to search for dotted rectangle, dotted shapes, or rectangle, any of the two. So I can bring this in. So I love this. I'll click on it. So that is this here. So I'll just take it to the top, somewhere to the top here. I'll duplicate it, click on duplicate here, then this duplicate of it. So let's say I'll move it. Okay, so I would also search for halftone gradient. So I'll come over to this halftone gradient, halftone gradient, rounded rectangle, halftone gradient, rounded rectangle. Or even if you type in halftone gradient rounded, it will still give you what you want. Okay, so I can use any of this that is being given to me. So let's say I'll choose this. I'll rotate it this way. So let's say even more this way. Then I'll move it this way. I can decide to scale it further. Then move it this way. So this is what I have for this. So aside from doing this, I can go ahead and bring in headers. There are several key search terms that you can make use of. So let's say header. So I can bring in any of these headers. So let's say this, for instance, I can bring this in and then decide that I'll use it at the top here. I'll scale it. So let's say here now, I want to make use of this header here. So I'll change the color here. I'll change it to the yellow, the golden part of it. I'll change this to this. Then I'll change this to a light darker shade of this way. So this is what I have. I would also move this closer a little bit. So I want to send this backward so that it will be behind this other one. I'll right click, send to back this way. So I can also shift it upward a little bit. So let's say a little bit downward this way. Okay. So with this, I can decide to put in the logo of the organization or decide that that will be at the back. In some instances, you might want to put that at the back of the ID card in some instances. So let me move this a little bit upward. So lastly, the last thing I'll just do to this is I can add something like a gradient to it. Gradient fade transparency, gradient fade transparencies. So I can use something like this. Something like this is cool enough. I'll click on this. So this is how it looks like. Then I'll change it this way. So move it over to this side, then scale it down. So for this, I'll change the color to our theme color, that is this blue, and then send to back. I can also decide that for this in particular, I will reduce the opacity so that it won't be too obvious. Something like this. So once you are done, you can decide to go ahead and download this. This is just to make it as plain as possible. You can decide to do more to it and just play around it. So I'll go over to share, then download, and then I'll download it.